Hello and welcome back to more of Dark Souls. Last time we began our journey here to the land of Lordran in order to ring the now, as we found out from the Crestfallen Warrior here, the two Bells of Awakening that are found here. One up north, or up above, as he said, in the Undead Church, and one below in the town, Blight Town, which so our first target is going to be up in the Undead Church, but for now, better make sure we are strong enough. So we will start off with leveling up. So if we press select here, it'll give us an explanation. Yes, our character's name is Joey Jojo Jr., the best name. Level is our level. Every time we raise a stat, that's pretty much leveling up. So pretty simple. Souls is the amount of souls we have on us, and required souls is how much souls is needed for one level up. Vitality boosts your HP, pretty simple. Attunement determines how many spells you can have equipped. Like, as you can see, we've one attunement slot at the moment, so we can equip one spell. But if we get a second slot by leveling up attunement, we'll be able to equip a second spell, or equip one spell that requires two slots. It's complicated. I'll be using a bit of spells in this, but more of kind of support rather than my main way of attacking. Endurance is very important as it boosts our stamina, equipment load, and resistance to bleeding. Bleeding is a very annoying status that can come from daggers and katana users and different enemies. Equipment load is important as the amount of weight you have in comparison to your equipment load determines how quickly you can roll and run, and if you have too much equipment on, sometimes you can't even move. It's not great, and I'm going to try and keep my character as light as possible, as I prefer rolling around, especially if I'm going to be not using a shield. So I'm going to be relying on rolling through attacks. So I want to make sure I have a good roll going. Strength is important for wielding slower but heavier weapons, like hammers and great swords. And while dexterity is used for kind of more technical weapons like katanas and scimitars and spears, kind of more lighter but quicker weapons. And for this playthrough, I'm going to be going to more of a dex build with a few kind of quick stylish weapons in mind. The strength, not to say the strength weapons are not cool, some of them are pretty beastly, but a lot of the best ones require an enormous amount of strength, which I do not like sinking so much of my levels in one skill, because I like having a bit of endurance, vitality as well. Resistance, you just don't level it up, it's useless. Intelligence is used for sorceries, while fate is used for miracles. So intelligence is used for kind of spells that are kind of long range, if you need a certain amount of intelligence to use certain spells, and fate is kind of used for healing miracles and kind of miracles based on the gods, so they have like lightning and stuff like that. There'll be better examples of them later. And like with intelligence, you need a certain amount of fate to use certain miracles. And a humanity is the number bosom is the number of black sprites within one's bosom, so that's the amount of humanity you kind of have equipped, for lack of a better word. I'll show off that in a second. And then over here, just have all the different stats, pretty self-explanatory. One that's kind of vague is poise, so that means the more poise you have, the more you the less times you kind of stagger whenever you get hit. So you could get, if you have a high amount of poise, you'll get hit by an attack, but you just won't flinch, which looks pretty beastly, but is mostly used in like the heavier armors. So that's going to be a problem for me if I'm running such a light character. I'm going to be staggered pretty easily. So for now, what do I want to do? We can get how many levels? We can get 3 levels so far, and I know I'm going to need at least 16 strength for my character if I want to use all the weapons I want. 15 dex is okay for now. I'm going to do 1 vitality, endurance, and strength for now. And I'm going to need... I won't be able to use fate for a bit. Yeah, that'll do that for now. But 16 is going to be my end game target for strength, while I'm going to raise dex, endurance, and vitality over time. I'm going to raise attunement once, so I'll get I think if at 12 you get a second slot. And fate I'm going to level up to 20, I believe, is my main target, so I can just use a few different spells. Nothing crazy, just a few odd ones. It's mostly going to be focused on melee combat with dexterity weapons. And another aspect of leveling up strength and dexterity is, if we have a look at the bandit's knife here, if you look under the damage there, it says required parameters. So we need 6 strength and 12 dexterity to use this weapon effectively. So if we want to use a lot of dexterity weapons, we're going to have to level up our dex, as later game weapons will require a certain amount of strength and dex to use. And I know all the weapons I intend on using only require 16 strength, so that's why that's kind of my main target. And also, if you look to the left of that in the bonus, the parameter bonus, you see it says B next to dexterity symbol and E next to the strength symbols. That means that the more dexterity we have, the more of a damage bonus the weapon gets, as opposed to these. But since strength is only E, you don't get a big bonus from it. So it's a weapon with good scaling, so many words. A weapon with good parameter bonus in a skill in either dex or strength that you have high, whichever one you have higher, is always good to get. If we go down the stairs here, actually, there's a woman sitting here, but she cannot speak. If we try speaking her, she can't do anything, and she will help reinforce our Estus Flask. Unfortunately, we cannot do that at the moment. These ghosts, actually, I was going to explain that. Those are actually other players. If you're connected online, you'll randomly see players walking around as in ghost form. So that's in his game, he's just wandering down here as well. It's a really cool little feature and makes the world feel more kind of alive. Let's see if you have anything else to say, actually.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever.
Oh, I won't. As tempting it is to kill you for your precious, precious humanity, I will...
Oh, have you seen
I will
that
ignore it.
terrible
Oh, he's mentioning the girl down below.
The Firekeeper. She's stuck keeping that bonfire lit. Sad, really. She's mute and bound to this forsaken place. They probably cut her tongue out back in her village, so that she'd never say any god's name in vain. How do these martyrs keep chugging along? I'd peter out in an instant.
Well, that's cheery. Yeah, as I mentioned last time, this is the land of lords, Lordran. So we are humans who are in the land. Lord, pretty much, if you remember in the opening cutscene, there was 3 lords who found 3 lord souls: Gwyn, the Witch of Isolate, and Nito. And they formed this land, Lordran. And then there was the 4th person who found the soul, the Pygmy, and he and humans kind of came from him. So lords are kind of pretty much, it's kind of like in Greek mythology where the gods kind of just live with humans, or like are on the same, like the gods aren't just up in heaven all the time, they're on earth, for lack of a better term, like us. If you look over here, there's a chest that looks like someone beat us to it, but this is actually for if you ever like discard an item that's needed to progress through the game, you will find it in this chest here. So there's no way of having progress stinted, pretty much. So yeah, this is the land of lords, pretty much. So there's going to be a lot of giant, like the lords, their appearance are pretty much, they're giants. They're kind of huge, and they're bigger. The more humanity and souls they have, the bigger they are, pretty much. Found some fire bombs over here, pretty self-explanatory. You throw them at people, and it sets them ablaze. Always fun. I believe we go up here. There's another fellow to talk to. Yes. How are you doing, sir?
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Oh. Well, goodbye. That was rude. That was very rude. What a mean person. We'll go back to talk to him in a moment. I just want to explore a few here. As you can see, we found this guy's, pretty much his soul. He had his soul just lying on him. If we read that here. Soul of a lost undead who was long gone hollow, used to acquire souls. So pretty much all the souls that he had were kind of clustered together in that big pack. Now if we hop down this little path here and come out here, we will find a bit of a secret, a bunch of treasure chests, which can be very handy early on in the game. Well, depends on what you're going for. We got these cracked red eye orbs, which are they're interesting to say the least. I'll have a look at them in a second. We get a Morning Star and a Talisman. Give them a look too. And we also find a Homeward Bone. If you activate these, they will bring you back to the last bonfire you rested at. So it's just kind of a handy way of returning if you don't feel like walking back. And you don't worry, you can buy them later on, so they're not limited. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead. Oh, I did not know that. Oh my. In rare cases, there's strong urge of their previous owners to seek bonfires and chance their bones with a homeward instinct. Oh boy, that's cheery. If we look at the talisman we got, we have to have a talisman equipped in order to use fate spells. So they're used by clerics and whatnot. Unfortunately, I do not have any fate spells at the moment, so it's not very useful. Medium for casting Miracles of the Gods. Yeah, pretty standard. And the Morning Star, I think it has a bit of info. Does it? Uniquely hammer? No, it does not. It's just the weapons clerics use, pretty much. And the other item we got is this cracked red eye orb, which is a very interesting item. Invade another world. Hollows cannot use the item, which is important. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire humanity. The cracked red eye orb allows players to temporarily imitate the ability normally limited to the dark rates of Kot. That name will pop up again later. But pretty much, when we're this kind of inhuman at the moment, we won't be able to use it. But there is a way of becoming more human, which I'll explain soon. And we also get a Lloyd's Talisman. Let's see what that says. I don't think I've ever read this one, actually. Talisman utilized by Allfather Lloyd's cleric knights to hunt down the undead. Oh my. Blocks Estus recovery when in a limited area, so if you're hit by one of these, you won't be able to use your Estus flask to heal yourself. In the outside world, the undead are accursed creatures, and Lloyd's cleric knights are widely praised for their undead hunts. This blessed talisman blocks undead recovery, allowing the knights to fight with impunity. So clearly there is a group out there who's not the biggest fan of undead, and they would rather see... Oh yeah, there's the crow. There's the crow that brought us here. Thanks, buddy. I did not like that asylum very much. But yeah, there is clearly a group out there who are not a big fan of undead and would rather see us done away with. We're kind of seen as scum and whatnot, even though we never asked for this. To quote Adam Jensen, is that the guy from Deus Ex? I believe it is. But yeah, cracked red eye orbs. If you meet the requirement, you can invade other people's world, other players, I should specify, and you can if you can defeat them and kill them, you can steal whatever souls and humanity have on them at the time. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I'm not good at fighting other players though. Don't know why I sat here. Did not need to. Let's go talk to our buddy again and see if he can tell us something else. If he can undo his prejudice. Hello there. Oh, I didn't mean to say the same thing as you.
That I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
A copper coin. I don't believe that's any good. Copper coin, its face shows Old Man Mike Life, god of medicine and drink. I actually did not know that. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lordran. So yeah, this is you in like outside of Lordran, you know, coins are still normal currency. But here, everything is bought with souls. So not very good. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around. So they're kind of a memento. Don't think they do anything really. No. Oh well, it was a nice gesture, I suppose. Thanks, I guess. I will talk to him again soon, but I think I will need a bit more souls because he may ask us something important. Before we proceed up above to the undead church, did I just see an item on my screen or am I going crazy? I'm going crazy. Okay. I want to take a run down here to this friendly looking graveyard. I might die here, I'm not gonna lie. This could end very badly, but we will see what happens. As there is an item I want to pick up here real quick. We get another soul lost and dead, and as you can see there are skeleton warriors. Spooky, scary skeletons. Nice meme, Connor, very good. Another soul lost and dead, always good. We cannot fight these guys now. These guys are way too strong for us. it would be suicide to try and fight them, especially that giant one that just stood up. Zweihander is also a good weapon, but it's more strength based. What we want is up here, the winged spear. Oh god, run. Please move. Thank you. Okay, I think we're good. Why aren't they chasing us? Oh, now they are. Okay. Yeah. That went for, oh god. How ominous is that? And they will follow you. Enemies in this game do not give up. Well, most of them don't. If you just like leave. These guys will, oh god, okay, they're keeping up with me. And if an enemy is too close to you, you will not be able to rest at the bonfire. So I'd best get back there quickly. And safe. Screw you guys. I'm all good. I think we should be able to equip that winged spear now. Oh, we need 13 strength. However, this actually segues into something very nice. As you can see, insufficient strength to wield this weapon with one hand. Hold with both weapons to use effectively. And since we're not using a shield, our left hand is totally free, so bazam! Winged spear already useful. I believe, just say the strength requirement is 30 for this. If you two-hand it and have 15 strength, you'll be able to use it okay. So if you as long as you have half the strength of the weapon, you should be able to use it. Let's have a read of this here. Long hit the spear with a bar point, long reach, and can be used with shield up. So yeah, actually it's very handy in that if you have your shield blocking, you can kind of poke out with spears. It's a very handy little feature of them. Like, it won't do as much damage obviously, but it's kind of nice to keep the damage up. So it's pretty standard. Zweihander, one of the gigantic straight great sword. So it's just a giant great sword. As you can see, it requires 24 strength, which we will never reach. So we will not be able to use that one-handed effectively, and probably not at all. Also, another thing to note about the winged spear is it has a C scaling with dexterity, so not as good as the dagger, but C's okay. I'm not going to turn down a good C weapon, especially if it's a spear, since we can kind of keep our distance and don't want to get up close like with the dagger. Zweihander is held with two hands. Oh, so they actually recommend that people two-hand the Zweihander. Very handy. Do we want to talk to you again now? I don't know. Let me use these random souls. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh, we got a large one as well. Okay, we got cash to spend, because this guy is gonna ask us for not a bribe per se, but he's gonna ask us to spend some money for information. So, but if you don't have the money on you when he asks, you're pretty screwed, and you can't pay, and you'll never get the information, I believe. So I just want to make sure I have it. So hello again.
Oh my. You again?
I got a spear now.
I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles?
That would be pretty swell.
Would that please you?
That would please me immensely.
Very well. Then first,
Oh.
a covenant with
Okay, I never asked for this, but alright. Oh, we actually get a choice. Yeah, we might as well. I'll show this covenant isn't very important really. Covenants are kind of used in online play. Certain covenants give you certain effects online, and they have a story significance as well. But this one, I'll explain it in a second.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Now he means that literally. If we don't literally in game, if you know all the stats and stuff, if we don't have enough faith in the gods, we will not be able to use the miracles. So literally, if we're not religious enough, so it's kind of a nice play on words there. First off, we're going to learn the gesture, the shrug gesture. So good. I'll show off gestures in a second. And if we have a look at what he has to sell here, he has a nice few miracles, although we can't afford any at the moment. The heal one is one I like to pick up, as this is a nice kind of backup one to have. And for jokes, I might just get the force one. It's useful in one situation later on, but I won't be buying these for a while. And this guy also sells a talisman, but since you can just find one in the chest at the back, just make sure you don't buy one. I felt stupid after I bought one and then found the one in the chest. And the Turland one I don't believe is much better. It's actually it's slightly better magic adjust, which means you cast spells quicker, I believe. I'm not really sure. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention when we were looking at the stats, another effect of the dexterity skill is that it increases the speed you drink Estus and cast spells. So it increases your movement pretty much. So let's talk to this buddy again.
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission.
Oh, so she's undead too.
We are her
Interesting.
defenses to keep her from harm.
That's pretty good of you guys. But what is this undead mission she's on? Is she also here to ring the bell of awakening? I can't imagine it.
An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
You would think that means if you have a certain amount of faith, he'll tell you. But no, it just means he wants a bribe. So 800 souls. I probably used too many of those soul items, but I was just being safe. Let's find out what this mission is.
I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
Okay. Interesting. So this girl is coming with her 2 knights. That was bad phrasing. She's coming to Lordran with her 2 knights in order to find the rite of kindling.
Very
Okay.
well.
Oh, right, he just said the same thing again.
Kindling is the through
So she's gonna try and find the
Come
ability to
again.
kindle
The
in this land
effectiveness of
somewhere.
the teachings.
Depending on your fate, yeah, it's normal. By the way, if you break, you can roll into pots to break them. Oh! Excuse me. I am not doing my quick roll anymore. This spear must be heavier than I thought. But if we take off our gloves, do we still? Yeah! Our gloves were weighing us down, apparently. Cool. So yeah, if you have under 25% equip load, so what's 25% of 50? Damn it, impromptu maths, I wasn't ready. But if you have under 25% equip load, you'll do this quick roll, whereas if you have between 25 and 50, which we have if we equip these gloves, we'll have this slightly sluggish roll, which isn't terrible, but I like my sprightly little leap. You also notice, actually, speaking of kindling, that we now have 10 Estus on us rather than the 5 Estus the bonfires in the Asylum gave us. That's because this bonfire here in Firelink Shrine, due to the Firekeeper down below, is constantly kindled. Well, not constantly. Once it's kindled, it doesn't become unkindled. But it's kindled here, so that means this bonfire will give us 10 Estus fast, which is nice. So, after hanging around here for far too long, I think it's fine we actually, you know, start the game instead of getting up to date with lore and stuff. And they kind of, these first few enemies here give you your first taste of what this game has to offer. Yeah. Okay, I tried rolling and doing the plunging attack. I don't know what I was thinking here. I'm gonna give you heads up now, I'm not great at this game. I know where things are, but doesn't mean I can fight enemies well. And fighting without a shield is gonna be weird, because with that guy, I could have just blocked him. He would have been staggered, and I could have easily circled around him to get the backstab. But without a shield, I gotta do some sneaky maneuvers. Speaking of sneaky maneuvers, Sparta! That does not get old. Oh, okay, I'm getting ambushed. Okay, I'm just gonna back up here. Ooh, excuse me, buddy. And you're dead too. Oh, the range of the spear is lovely compared to the dagger. You can actually get some breathing room from enemies. And the fact to give you 10 Estus here at the start is a nice kind of cushion for the early parts of the game. But once you get to the next bonfire, which won't be kindled because there won't be a firekeeper there, you're gonna have to learn either kindle it yourself, which I will show how to when we come across it, or you're gonna have to start dealing with not as many healing items. It's recommended to kindle a few some bonfires are not as important as others, like location-wise. So I'm not gonna be kindling all of them, just the important ones. Look at this beautiful rat with its rock. Oh god! Don't. Okay, I thought it killed me. If he hit me a few times, that meter there is, if that purple meter goes all the way up to full from like taking hits, certain type of hits, you will get a status, and that status there was poison, which lasts a lot of time if you get hit. It's pretty slow, but it's just very, very annoying. We have another door up here. It does not have, it won't open from that side, which is important. Rats can also drop humanity often since they eat the corpse of humans. I know it's a cheery image, but if you ever need humanity, kill rats and they will occasionally drop them. Praise the sun is a famous phrase there. We will see the origins of that at some point. And we arrive at our first proper area, Undead Burg, which is a city for the undead pretty much. The undead, since they had to leave the land of humans and were kind of forced here to Lordran, set up their own city. try and live with this curse, unfortunately. Bit of a oh, I forgot about you. Come at me. Ooh. You can die now. Let's go back to that secret. Yeah, a bit of a secret here behind these barrels. Oh, you dropped an item. This is an example of an item drop. Sometimes enemies drop items. You dropped a firebomb. That's actually pretty nice. These guys usually don't drop anything too great. Although their armor isn't terrible. It can give a bit more defense. Oh, speak of the devil. Let's have a look. Hollow Warrior does a bit more okay, actually, it's a good opportunity to explain this. If you see the 4 numbers in a row, like the 23 on the black leather armor, that's physical damage, and then the one to the right is is physical defense. Sorry, the one to the right of that is magic defense, then fire defense, and then lightning defense. So this armor is a bit more physical defense, but less magic and fire defense, and it's much heavier. So I'm probably just gonna stick with the black leather armor for now, but it's good to keep a kind of variety of armors available to you, since different enemies will attack with lightning and fire. So if you're in an area with a lot of fire-based enemies, it might be best to equip a fire-resistant armor. Ooh, we got some crazy hollows here. They ain't got no armor. All they got is their daggers. But these guys can be dangerous. They have a very damaging flurry attack where they just do a load of wild swings, and they can actually do a fair bit of damage if you are unprepared for the assault. I believe there's an item up here as well. Another soul lost and dead. It's always handy to have a bunch of them stockpiled in case like you're just off getting a level up, you don't have enough souls, you can just pop one of them and you should have enough to get the level up. It's always handy to have a few of them in reserve. I believe there's a bit of an ambush here while we drop rubbish. It's a tarp. Oh, I'm gonna kill these guys because the souls are always good. As you can see, these guys, since they're pretty hollowed, they don't have... Well, not pretty, they're very hollowed, good god. They don't have much souls on them, we're only getting 40 from them. But, like, while enemies later on will be dropping, like, 4,000. You know, it's... Enemies get a lot stronger later on. One of the awkward things about this game is it's hard to explain, like, lore and story and stuff without spoiling a lot of stuff that happens. Or has already happened. Like, a lot of the lore is stuff that's happened in the past, but finding out about it later on is part of the fun. So I'm going to try... It's kind of difficult to tiptoe around while also being kind of informative. So bear with me regards that. It's not easy. There's a piece of wood stuck to me. Please stop. You might notice there when we run to those barrels, the frame rate kind of took a drop. I'm playing this on the PS3 since my laptop could not run this game while recording it, unfortunately. So it does chug along sometimes. Like, I'm not one who is bothered by, you know, every game needs to be 60 FPS, smooth. But, you know, in some areas later it can be awkward. You might notice there's a little door over there that we cannot reach. Hopefully we'll find a way to reach there later on. So let's go up here. Oh! Oh my! Hello there, buddy. I will be seeing you later. So, as in the opening stated, it said the gods or the lords rebelled to defeat the everlasting dragons that roamed over the world. But obviously, well, so you're wondering, but that was a dragon right there. That was actually a drake, not the dragon. Dragons in this game are entirely different beasts. And I'll tell you, there are still a few lurking around out there. We will meet them much later on. Give me that backstab. Oh, this mind game. Oh god, okay, that was not a backstab. Please die. Thank you. So yeah, as the intro stated, the world before was literally plain. It was the neutral planet from Futurama. Nothing happened. Everything was grey. People had no strong feelings one way or the other. And underneath the ground, there was like these beings who found special souls that let them form like the race of gods, and then that one guy, the pygmy, who formed the race of humans. So, and then they rebelled against the dragons, and they formed the Age of Fire because they got the souls when the first flame appeared. I'm not good at explaining it, unfortunately. It'll be easier to explain once more the story is uncovered later on. But I believe for now, with the discovery of the first bonfire here, actually, you know what? Before we end this off, I will show off the use of kindling and using humanity. So if we use a humanity here, you'll notice in the top left we have a 1 now instead of a 0. So we've 1 humanity kind of stored within us. And we actually want to have 2 within us because you need 2 humanity in order to kindle a bonfire. 1 to reverse hollowing. So that means we will move further away before becoming a hollow and going crazy, which is always fun. So we are more human now, which is always nice. And then we have to use another humanity to feed the flame and make it more powerful, which will give us more Estus. So this bonfire now gives us 10 Estus instead of 5. And I like doing it at this bonfire since it leads to a lot of handy locations. And you notice now, next to the health, the zeros are kind of glowing white. That means we're in human form. And in human form, you can be invaded by other players and also use these cracked red eye orbs to summon other players. And yeah, so literally another player could jump into my game right now and invade me and kill me, even though he would get nothing. Actually, I'm going to level up real quick as well. I don't really need, I'll boost my, I'll do one of everything again. You know what, I'm going to get that second attunement upgrade out of the way now, so I won't have to do it later. And we're 2 strength away from being able to wield the shield with 1 hand, although we won't be getting like a weapon for our left hand for a while, so I can probably put off doing that for a bit. Also, we have our skin back. Yay! Isn't that fortunate? And we can see our horrifying eyes once again stare into those gaping abyss. That's actually, for people who know this game, that's kind of a pun. Ha! I snuck a pun in there, though half of you probably don't even know what it means. I am the greatest. Anyway, I'm going to end this episode off here. So I shall see you next time, where we'll explore the rest of Undead Burg. So I shall see you then. Goodbye.